That's our awkward intro.
You don't have to keep all of that, though.
Alright, you want to do it one more time just for good measure?
Yeah.
I'm going to put all three of them in. So.
Welcome to After Bedtime with
Stevan.
And Kelsey.
And my extremely tiny espresso cup.
I wish you would buy ones
I
that
get
weren't
it.
glass.
You hate my cups. You hate my cups.
I just wish they weren't glass.
You already hurt my
them,
feelings over the weekend.
You take them everywhere. He takes them in the car.
I'm just going to throw them away.
Glass little cups filled to the brim with espresso.
I'm just going to throw them away. It's fine.
No, it just makes me
You
so
obviously hate
anxious that when I'm driving that you're going to spill it all over yourself. It's just a nerve-wracking feeling.
It's whatever. It's whatever. I'm just going to see if someone's playing Call of Duty because this is just not going well. What do you want to talk about this week, Kelsey?
I don't know what we talked about last time.
What did we talk about last time?
I don't know. It's been a while since we've done a video. I mean,
It's only been a couple.
Podcast.
It's only been 2 weeks.
It feels like a
And
while.
one time we went like 3 months without doing them.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been that long.
I know, but like have we already said that we put up our Christmas tree?
Oh, you can't remember if you told the stories that you... Yeah, I think we already said that. Because we recorded one right after Halloween. And we put it up right after
Yeah, we put
Halloween.
it up the day after.
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know, but obviously you have an idea because you're going to...
No, I don't. I don't have an idea.
Then what are you doing on your phone?
I'm looking through
This is the worst podcast ever.
No, it's not. We're very informal. We don't have a lot of structure. Oh, I've got an interesting one that was kind of a weird... This is a very weird and random thought that came to mind today. But like, if you had to eat your last meal, what would you want your last meal to be?
Everything.
Well, you can't have... I mean, okay... You can't have everything. It's like Twitter, right? There's 140 characters for a reason. It forces you to be selective about your words. So this is your last meal.
I don't want to be in that position because
You can
there's
have
too many good things.
No, no. You have to answer it.
I don't have to answer anything.
For the sake of the podcast, you must answer.
But why does it have to be like just one thing?
No, it doesn't have to be one thing. That's what I was going to say.
Okay, well, it's going to be like a gazillion things.
Okay,
and
let's
gonna be
just
like, you're
say,
unreasonable.
For instance, let's say you can have 3 entrees, 3 sides, 3 appetizers, 3 desserts.
I guess.
I mean, this is the last time you're going to eat. So
I guess like sushi.
All right, what is that? Is that an appetizer? Or is that dessert? What?
I don't know. I don't know what my other stuff is. So
you literally, they'd be like, "Hey, what do you want for your last meal?" And you'd be like, "Everything." And they'd be like, "What do you mean?" And you're like, "I don't know, but everything."
No. Obviously, Chick-fil-A. Oh, number 1, fries, milkshake, Andy's ice cream. This isn't a topic that you should just bring on me because there's a lot of things.
You need to like do a dissertation on it.
Yeah, this is why I want this.
Mine was like really simple. Like
I know because you are somebody that would just eat like chicken and rice.
No,
all the time.
Like I was just thinking of, and what made me think of it.
Crab legs.
What made me think of it was. I made a bagel, and I was eating the bagel, and I was like, this bagel is so fucking good. And then I was
He eats that like twice a day,
and then
every single day.
And then I was thinking, okay, if I had to have the last meal, like what would be a part of that? And I was thinking it would be the foods that like bring me the deepest sense of enjoyment. Like that make me have that feeling like this is just so good.
Like when we had how you acted when we had seafood down in Florida.
Yeah. So I think if I had to, like right now, and it feels like it's kind of changed over time, but I feel like I would definitely have like that monster trail mix from Target. I would have some kind of beef jerky. I don't really even care the brand. I would definitely have a bagel as it stands today. Something like a steak, some kind of red meat, and bread, like sourdough bread.
I know, but
And
like I could
would
have
die a
at
happy
least
man.
like one or two things from every single category. Like, it depends on what mood I'm in when you ask the question.
Well, I would tell you that you would definitely wear out whoever's in charge of your last meal. They would be worn out with your indecisiveness.
I wouldn't care.
They'd be like, "Here's your pot of gruel. Have a nice last meal."
Then, well, that's rude. Why ask the question and then not be prepared for the answer?
Like trying to buy like another year on your life while you make a decision about your last meal.
I would eat everything. If it was my last meal, I'm not kidding. I would probably eat everything.
So, do you think the election was a fraud?
No.
It's culturally relevant and topical.
No, but I don't really want to talk politics because people are very sensitive lately.
Oh, you just took a harsh stance on that question, though.
What do you mean?
Some people are going to be like, there was fraud. There was widespread fraud.
No.
I saw today that he fired the director of the... I can't remember the exact acronym. It's like the Central Intelligence National Security. I don't know. I can't remember. But
sometimes when you're talking about things, my eyes kind of glaze over.
Anyways, he fired this dude that was supposed to be in charge of like basically the cybersecurity of the elections, essentially because this guy made statements that basically this. I mean, I'm paraphrasing all of this, but the guy made a tweet.
That's a dangerous situation.
I know. The guy tweeted that they have not, of any of the reported claims of fraud or interference in the elections, all the reports that have been made, they've all been either technically unsound or unsubstantiated. And basically, President Trump didn't like that, so he fired the dude. And that just happened today. Okay, we won't go down the political rabbit hole, although it is a very fascinating time to be an American.
Is it?
It really is. Let's talk about what's going on in your life, Kelsey. What's the big thing? What are you thinking about a lot these days? Babe? What's on your mind a lot? Christmas gifts?
Christmas gifts.
How's our Christmas shopping coming?
Well, it's held up because there's other people involved.
I know we've already spent way too much, but how else is it going?
We have not spent way too much. I'm still well within the amount that you said.
I know, I'm just joking.
I was supposed to be in. We have technically blown our children budget, but like I would buy something and then I would find something else and I'd be like, oh, they'd really like that. It's mainly Cal's budget has been blown, and then it made me feel bad for Kyler, so I spent a couple more for Kyler.
You know, it's so true what people say. It's like the idea of the thing is always so much better than the...
No, the crap we got is the coolest.
I agree with the video game stuff and things we got him, but a lot of the toy stuff, it's like it literally is great for like 30 minutes to maybe a day, and then they kind of just like they either lose a piece of it or they get bored with it.
Well, that's why I got the things that I got for all three of you because, first off, they're kind of like a more smaller kid version of like a Nerf gun. But they shoot those pull balls, like those soft pull ball things. They shoot those, which you can get that anywhere for cheap. And they are supposed to be easier for like a 3-year-old to do it by themselves, which I think that's awesome. But I bought there was 3 versions of it, so I went ahead and just got all 3, and I put your name on one because I thought it would be funny for all 3 of you to run around and shoot each other.
I think it's funny that you think we're gonna shoot each other.
Oh.
We're gonna shoot the unarmed woman in the house.
That's not fair. I also got Cal and Kyler. They apparently come with this little ammunition belt, and they can hook it around their little waists and put their backup ammo on it.
We're not talking to you, Echo, which may make it more likely that they keep a hold of their ammo. If they have somewhere to put it.
I think the things are a lot bigger than these teeny tiny little darts. Those get lost in a second.
Our kids are totally just all about the fun and not about any of the unfun.
I know, but I don't really think
they want to blast the Nerf. They want to blast the magazine, and they want to just be like, give me another magazine. They don't want to have to pick up.
I know, but I don't really think they even really like the Nerf gun part. They really kind of just like the sounds that the Nerf gun.
I think they like the Nerf gun part.
No, they like it when they get to shoot people, or hit up people with the Nerfs.
Well, that's what you do with a Nerf gun.
I understand that, but I'm saying for the most part, 90% of the time that they played with those guns, they have not had any of those Nerf darts in them.
True, but that's what I'm saying is they lose a piece of the thing.
I know, but I don't really think it's that big of a deal to them because they never ask for it to be
true.
full.
I agree on the Nerf guns. It's not.
They kind of just like the sounds, and then if you act like you're being shot, it's makes them just as happy. Toys
are kind of a money pit.
They are a money pit when you are involved.
No, they're not.
Yes, huh?
They are just a
all
money
the toys
pit.
we bought in Colorado. No, all the toys you bought in Colorado.
I think we were both there.
No, we weren't. At every instance, we were not together. Because I would not have bought as much digging, monster truck digging toys from a boutique toy store.
I've just convinced myself that when you think something is a good idea or sounds...
I'm glad you convinced yourself now before we go back to Colorado.
That if something sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, it's probably not, and so I'm just going to save my money.
The Skylander video game is totally fun, and if Cal enjoys it for 2 seconds, well, then good thing, because Kelsey's going to be enjoying it for the next 5 years.
Yeah, because you only spent 30 years of your life researching it.
It's the coolest game ever. The only thing is that it's not...
I don't think you've taken notes about anything in your life, and you took some notes about this Skylander setup.
Because...
That is how serious you took it.
Many characters, and I wanted to know what was the general group of characters that I needed to be able to play the game. But then once we got the game, you can get whatever characters you want. But
you played it before they've played it?
I had to make sure that the video game worked.
Quality control. Sure. We
bought the crap off eBay. You always should verify once you've gotten it. Yes, because I didn't want to wrap it and then open
that picture frame doesn't have any pictures in it?
Because I'm replacing the pictures in it.
That's strange.
I wanted to hang them all up, but
it's very off-putting to have the picture frame in the front.
Okay, you know what? Then you be in charge of some of this stuff.
What were you saying about your...
I'm not going to pay shipping on 2 pictures from Shutterfly. I have to wait until I have other stuff to order from Shutterfly.
I think you did great.
Such a good way to get me to stop talking about Skylanders. Look at you. Look how smart you are.
You just take over some of it. You lazy motherfucker.
That's not how I meant it.
I know it's not. I really think they're going to like the Skylander thing. I commend you on doing the research on it because I would not have.
Yeah, and then we would have had like 2 characters and they would have been like, oh, you can't do anything in the game.
I do think, though, the whole Christmas situation this year is going to be quite the fiasco because when he opens that on Christmas morning, he is not going to want to do anything else or go anywhere else.
I know.
So that's going to be quite the conversation.
I know, but who even knows if we're going to be going anywhere? I mean, we canceled.
Oh yeah, that's fair with COVID going on or anything. There
may be a possibility that we're not even going anywhere.
But that will be. I mean, it's not like we can't take the stuff when we go places.
But his focus is not going to be on anything else but that because that has been the anticipated gift that he has wanted. And I've tried... And he is so
obsessed with video games.
Well, I mean, I've tried to even convince some other family members to get other Skylanders that we need because we need, like...
Oh, my shorts are black. I thought I was wearing blue shorts.
You are so rude. Why can you not just let me talk?
No, I'm letting you talk.
You're not. You're talking about random crap.
No, I'm letting you talk.
That doesn't mean anything.
I'm just getting distracted.
You need certain trap masters that are from different elements. You need at least one from every element. And we don't have that. And so I was trying to convince other family members to buy one. Also for him to be like engaged in what we were doing with the thought of maybe getting more Skylanders.
The kid is just going to be so focused on playing Skylanders the whole time.
Well, then we might need to do our little Christmas last.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but it's gonna be quite the event.
I mean, technically, those gifts are from Santa.
Yeah, so he has to get them Christmas morning. I don't know. It's a good problem to have. Some people aren't getting gifts. You know, you and Cal share your obsessiveness about these games, because literally, that's like my favorite thing about Cal right now. Is like he knows everything about Fortnite, and he will tell you all the intricacies and all the different, and he knows like all the skin names, and he knows all like this is coming in the next season, and this is what's happened in the previous season.
But that's the thing is that you don't necessarily know if his information is correct because some of the YouTube videos that he's watching could be old ones when they're like, this is the next
but it's
season.
I'm just saying it sounds correct. It sounds legitimate.
His confidence in much of him talking makes him sound correct, but I don't think that he is always 100%.
But you do the same thing. You're like, we got the Skylander, and they have different elements. We got to have exactly the right elements to be able to play the game. We got to have these
because
characters.
I played the first level, and I'm somebody who, when I play video games, I like to complete the level before I move on. And a lot of these new games, you don't have to complete it. Like, there's like one mission that you just run through the whole entire game, and then there's like all these little things broken off. I like to do those things.
The side things?
The side things as I'm going through.
Yeah, but see,
and
that's where...
there's like a whole there's like a whole section of the first level
like,
map that I couldn't go to.
Aren't all that fun to play with you because all of a sudden it becomes like a checklist. And we must...
I don't see anything wrong.
We must...
I'm not like a run and gunner type of person like you are. Like, it's just chaos.
No,
there's a whole bunch of stuff that you missed.
I mean, you're like it's like you're so sequential. It's like, no. We can't go on to there and come back and get this stuff. We need to get this stuff now.
I know that some games... I know there is some games where you just can't get that stuff until you go, like the Lego games. You can't get some of this stuff until you go to the free play because you need different characters to get that stuff.
But I'm saying what I'm saying is that when I play video games, I think that it's okay.
Oh, because you're just God's greatest gift to earth of video games.
I'm a champion. I'm going pro at Call of Duty.
No, you're
Tyler's going pro at Rocket League, and I'm going pro at Call of Duty.
Okay.
And that's how we're going to build generational wealth in our families.
No, what's so funny is that you guys are going to
awesome.
wait until Cal's pro at Fortnite at 5.
I'm disenfranchised with Call of Duty. Even though I keep playing it, I'm so frustrated with that game. It is too hard. It is hard. It's because, okay, it's like playing the slots because you never know if you're going to win. But there's a lot.
You just have to be good to win. Just be good. I like how you're trying to like talk yourself through this whole thing instead of just admitting that you've gotten old and you can't keep up with the young.
First you say
people
you
anymore.
Fucking hate my espresso cups, and now you're calling me.
I never said that word.
Now you're
that.
calling me shitty at Call of Duty. Why don't you just put me down more for my life choices and my abilities?
Just saying.
It's fine.
I'm sure my dad had this conversation with himself too.
Just sit here.
Such a baby.
Whatever. No, I mean, video games are fun when you, like, you don't have to win all the time, but you need to, like, win some of the time. But yet, they've combined it with, like, the playing the slot thing. So you want to keep pulling that lever, obviously, because you think, maybe. But there's a logical part of your brain that's like, this game is too hard and I will never win. And then that gets overridden by your lizard brain.
That shows us that you shouldn't go and play slots.
Oh yeah, I think I would be an addictive gambler, because you always. I mean, but that's everybody. Like everybody knows. Like
if the lights are going off and things are dinging, like it's an exciting.
Yeah, it's
situation.
It's the most reinforcing form of reinforcement. It's like getting positive feedback,
I know, but
getting
I don't understand why you're saying that Call of Duty is random.
Okay,
how is it random?
You're right. Because there's skill to it. Totally get what you're saying. So it's not really random.
I know, but there's like so many things at play now. There's the people with modified controllers that make it almost like
you have people playing on different consoles.
You have people playing on computers and. You have all these variables that kind of almost sometimes make you think that it's like an athlete on steroids. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like fair. To
your point, it's not really random, but you have that sense that of like any given Sunday. It's the same thing with like sports. It's at any given moment on any given day, a lesser player can beat a better player. So you have that sense that like, okay, if I just go into this game, maybe I'm going to play just well enough and just good enough to win.
I know, but it's getting to the point like the video gaming is a sport now. Like it is. There's professional gamers, and there's like people that literally do this as their livelihood.
Yeah, and so you're up against it.
So it's going to get to a point to where the average Joe is just not going to be able.
Maybe
they
need to do a better job of stratifying the like really really great players into their own place. From the really, 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 really great players.
As you're just saying that you're pointing to yourself and you're like, this game is so hard.
That's what I'm saying. So you take me, who's like a really, really good player, and put him in one league.
You just said that it's so hard already at the situation that it's at now.
And then you take.
So why would you be put into a really good players group?
Because I choose to think of things in very positive terms. So I'm a really, really good player.
I do think that's why everyone's just going ahead and transferring to PCs because it makes them faster.
But then we take the guys who are really, 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 really good players. We put them in their own league. Mm. Yeah. So we got.
But then how do you ever like advance? Because then you're just playing people who are as good as you.
Well, you can still have fun playing college football even if you don't go to the NFL. You know, just don't stick me with the professionals.
But that helps you advance.
It does, but like skill acquisition requires you to like. You need to be stretched.
There are some nights where you're winning left and right. So just because you have a couple bad nights,
I have not won a battle royale game in like 2 months. Anyways, it's a thing. It's a whole thing. What else is going on with you? How's school going? How's COVID school going?
I think it's fine.
You think we can homeschool our kids forever?
No.
You don't want to. You don't want to be a homeschooler.
I don't want to be in charge of our children's education.
Why?
I don't think that's a safe option.
Well, hold on. Okay, so first of all, why? Second of all,
I can do the younger stuff. I can do pre-K. I can do kindergarten.
Is it the subject matter that intimidates you, or is it just our kids are heathens and
No. I can handle our kids. It's the fact that I don't. It makes me even nervous now that I'm the person teaching him sounds and like the beginning stages of reading, and I'm dyslexic.
Why? Because you think you're not teaching them the right thing, or what?
I've already second guessed myself like 50 times when I've started to tell him the sounds that I've had to like just get on a video and look up like a song that
is that like one of those things where
like Disney made,
where like you repeat something so many times that even when if you're saying it right,
well, there's been times where weird. I say the sound, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's the sound, but then I say a word that letter starts with, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
Is it right though?
Yeah, majority of
But in your head, you're like second guessing because you're like, I haven't really thought about this, but it doesn't sound quite right.
It doesn't sound quite right, or
it's kind of like when you spell something and you're looking at it and you're like, that cannot be right. Like you're like you spell something, but the autocorrect doesn't pop up. But you're looking at it and you're like, that
literally
doesn't
that
look
is like
right.
my nightmare now when autocorrect does not pop up and like somebody has already seen my bubbles. I'm like,
yeah, because you're like, that just like there's several words that I type.
But now
on a regular basis.
The voice to text thing is like amazing because now if I can't figure it out, I'll just
Although,
say it.
The problem with voice to text, here's the problem with voice to text.
No, if you go too fast, but if you say like if you just need one word,
voice to text is awesome. The only part that's not awesome about it is it's interruptive to put, what would they be called? Punctuation. Any kind of punctuation is very interruptive to the flow. Like, for example, like if you want to say, yes, I'm on my way, period, question mark, or period, where are you at, question mark. That would be so much...
It's funny that you think I put punctuation.
Yeah, see, but I do, and that's where like I get hung up with it because it interrupts the flow.
That's why everyone can tell when I'm texting or when you're texting.
It interrupts the flow because then when I have to stop and think about what punctuation I should use, it interrupts the. If I could just like talk and the AI know where punctuation should go in my sentence, that would take it to a whole nother level. Like maybe that does exist, like on one of those like dedicated desktop speech to text thing,
yeah.
But if they could do that on the phone, like if Google could do that on their phones.
I'm not even sure and confident that I know where all the proper punctuation goes.
I'm pretty sure I know where periods and question marks go. I know where commas go.
No, but there's
even
sometimes where I'm not even for sure on where the period goes.
I know how to use it parentheses, but I'm kind of questioning.
I'm just
like,
not confident in my ability.
Semicolons or colons. I don't know if I could. I don't know. And sometimes I get the apostrophe wrong on possessive things.
But that's what I'm saying. And you want me to possibly be the person in charge of like our children's schooling?
Well, yeah, because I think
we can learn together.
Well, no, I mean I totally understand why you wouldn't want to be
it. But it
wouldn't scare me if you were.
It would scare me.
I think education is going to look so much different in their 20 years of education compared to ours because I feel like most of our education was very rote, like in the sense that it was about knowing facts and being able to recall facts and testing our...
Well, I think also virtual learning is going to start being mixed in there now. True.
It's like, I think that's probably that still remains the problem with the education model is how do you adopt a new education model when
you're already teaching one model?
Yeah, and when now technology has made that model somewhat obsolete in the sense that every kid has the breadth and depth of the entire human knowledge at their fingertips in their pocket at a moment's notice. Right? So it's so much less of a, do you know who the 45 presidents of the United States are? Do you know when the Declaration of Independence was signed? Like those kind of that road.
I know, but me and you haven't been in school for so long that school could be already starting to shift. We just don't.
It's fair. I just from what I see and experience, and like even I've only been out of college for 5 years.
I know, but you've been almost out of high school for.
Sure. I think there's like it has to become less about knowing things and more about like principled thinking.
I do think that some things are already starting to shift. It's just we don't have kids in the school system yet to actually see that. But I also think that, like I've said before, I just think parents and teachers need to have more of a relationship together of helping the child learn instead of just leaving it on one or the other.
Like, why do you have to know? Like, why do you have to know where periods go if you have technology that tells you where they go? Either through autocorrect or through Google, right? Like, if I can just Google when I need to know where a comma goes in a sentence, and I can just Google where does a comma go in a sentence at the moment I need to know it. Why does that have to be a fact that I retain? Or a piece of knowledge that I hold on to.
I mean, why are you asking me? I don't even really use punctuation.
Well, I'm not asking you. I'm just putting it out there. It's kind of it. It's just.
I'm sure there's many things that we don't necessarily need to like learn, but I'm sure there's some core things that for the foundation of learning.
Yeah,
that
like
you need.
For example, like you need to know the letters of the alphabet so you can recognize them. So you can read them, so you can write them. Yeah, totally.
But I'm struggling to Cal has learned the sound, like the letter C sound. And
I wonder
so
if
now
that lullaby music is going to be in the...
Turn it down. He's now asking, like...
This is high production content right here.
Please keep talking while I'm talking. I enjoy it. He's learned the letter C sound, and now he's asking, like, does this start with C? Because, he knows the sound. And so he's getting confused now because the K and the C sound are similar.
Or the J and the G.
Yeah, the J and the G is really starting to get me because he hasn't even learned J. But for some reason, he has locked the J sound in for G. And he cannot get past it.
But they're hard. I mean, to be fair, it's like phonetics, like J.
We haven't even learned it.
I know you haven't learned it, but like still, it's just kind of like J versus G. It's like a hard like phonetic.
But literally, K and C is it's literally the same thing.
So
But like to my understanding, C is K, and no, C is like C is K, and then K is supposed to be more like a K. And I'm like, what?
When you guys were going back and forth on that the other day, it made me think of.
But he would get it like 2 times in a row, and then I'd go to a different letter, and I'd go back, and he'd be like, J.
I mean, obviously he's 4, so we have to be patient. But it reminded me of this story that one of my friends in high school used to tell about his mom trying to tutor him in math, and she would be like, da 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 equals this, and blah blah blah. Explains it perfectly, basically gives him the answer. And she'd done this like several times, I guess, and they were at the kitchen table, and she did it one more time, and he like immediately after she got done saying to him what the answer was, he repeated the incorrect answer, and he said his mom took the back of his chair and ripped it down and just punched him in the chest. Obviously, like, we were teenagers at this point, right? So it was like, I mean, a woman punching their teenage son, it's not that big of a deal.
I know, but like, was he exaggerating? Because that makes it look so
yes,
intense.
I'm sure the way he was telling the story, she didn't like haymaker him in the chest, but that's the way he told it, which made it so much funnier.
Yeah.
Because you can just see him like bickering and being like, she's like, and he's like, wrong, and she's like, and then she does it again, and he's like,
I know, but what's so funny is I do that. Like, I've never hit Cal. That's not what I'm saying. Is that I
do that all the time. I haymaker him, right?
I've had situations like that with him multiple times, which I do it because I can tell he's starting to not listen.
Yeah.
When I'm reading something.
He loses focus.
And I don't know how to keep him engaged in some of that stuff. Like, I don't know how to really make it more exciting. And I mean, some of that stuff that I'm like doing the big long reading, I don't think I necessarily he knows those things.
That makes me think about how tough it is.
I'm talking.
That makes me
think. I'm literally talking.
That makes me think about how tough it must be for these teachers that are on Zoom with 35-year-olds.
100%. Like, I've seen so many TikTok clips of teachers, like lower grade teachers, showing themselves on the little Zoom, and they'd be talking, and then they're like, Elizabeth, and they hold up a sign, mute your mic, like, mute your mic, and then they'd be like, Mark, I can't hear you, and she'd hold up the sign, unmute your mic.
God loves the teachers, man. They're in it. And they're learning a whole bunch of skills. Like, they're trying to figure that out, right? They don't know how do I entertain 30 people for an hour on Zoom or whatever. It's just...
Especially, like, kindergarten. Like, when the thought of having to get your kindergartner on Zoom. Like, they've never been in a school... Like, some may never have been in a school setup. Ever. And now you have to somehow get them to sit in front of a computer for long periods of time. And the teachers and those parents that have to facilitate that. Because I mean, I don't get frustrated as often as I thought I was going to be. I thought that it was going to be very frustrating, but he gets it. And then the look on his face when he realizes that he's got it. It's that part of it makes me super excited that I am doing this, because I didn't realize on that, like, how much I would miss out on watching him learn and grow, and how excited he gets. Like, he's pretty much got the counting thing down now. Like, he understands, like, after he gets to a bigger number, like in the 40s and stuff, he understands, like, the 1 through 10. Yeah, the pattern. You just got to keep teaching him, like, the first number and the last number. And that's super exciting. Because, like, today, I helped him count all the way up to, like, 60. And his face when he was like, 60? That's amazing.
Yeah, he's smart. I think for Cal, I see a lot in Cal as I see in you, in the sense that you guys really have to find a connection for what it is that someone is trying to explain to you. Mm-hmm. If it seems like rote task and rote memory and rote facts, you guys have a very hard time.
Yeah, we have a hard time retaining
it, engaging it, focusing on it. Is kind of like, it doesn't seem relevant or real or important.
Well, that's why I tried to show him, like randomly in this curriculum, it teaches him, like we talked about red-headed woodpeckers the other day, and the fact that the name of the woodpecker was a redhead and its head was red, he thought that was the funniest thing in the world, but he retained all of that knowledge, because then today we were talking just more general, we were talking about birds, and he just randomly brought up the red-headed woodpecker.
Or the one I heard was where you were like, the polar bear, and he was like the fox, like the Arctic fox.
Well, he was saying, what did he say? Like the cold weather fox, and he was meaning the Arctic fox that we had, like, just learned about. We learned about all the Arctic animals, and
It's just fascinating because like you can tell when it's like you can see that how you can already see kind of like his learning style and how and like his capacity, the whole like what I was mentioning about like the Fortnite wiki and how deep he is into that. It shows how great a capacity we have to learn when we can connect things and we are passionate about things and we enjoy things. It's like that exponentially increases our capacity to learn, to focus, to retain. I mean, obviously there's what he has to learn right now are those fundamental things. Like you have to know the letters. It's just,
Yeah.
And so the key is, I think right now is like
letters and numbers. Are the
it's
two
kind of like
things.
how do you redirect them? How do you apply that or attach it or connect it to something that can excite them? And that's hard to do at times when you're dealing with things like that. When you're dealing with letters and numbers and basic arithmetic, it can. But like that lays the foundation, obviously, to be able then to engage with things that may be more interesting, right? That kind of like build upon those basic skill sets. But it just goes to show like he's super smart, super capable, super able to retain information. It's just a matter of, a lot of the times with most things in life, it just comes down to a matter of like
it needs to catch his attention.
Your will and your drive to do something.
Because some of that stuff, I mean, like I do not know how to make some of that stuff sound exciting.
Yeah, it's
to talk
super
about it,
difficult.
because like some of those times, like today, we were literally just reading about the different types of bears.
Yeah,
and I didn't know how to make that any more exciting than just giving him the general knowledge about bears, but then like the other day we were talking about inventors and like Thomas Edison, and that like excited him so much to learn about all that type of stuff, which is just like. That's so random. Like, why would Thomas Edison... it was a whole thing about Thomas Edison.
Some
and
stuff
it just
catches our fancy.
And he still randomly talks about that.
Both are good skills, though. I think both are good skills to have. Like, you, it's great to be able to learn about things you're interested in because you can basically go at it endlessly. Mm-hmm. But you do need to develop that skill set to be able to focus and deal with things and learn things that maybe you aren't passionate about. Like that is another skill set, right? It's like you got to sit down and do your taxes. Even though none of us want to do that, you got to have that skill set to be like, okay, I got to sit down, I got to focus on this and figure it out.
But also I think a lot of that stuff, like I'm not like, I don't get too upset with him. I don't get upset with him if he doesn't retain all the knowledge of bears. He knows what a bear looks like. He could point at a bear.
I think you just don't like it when he doesn't pay attention.
No, it's more... yeah.
No, I mean, it's like... What I'm saying is, like,
reading,
the only thing that really gets you at all flustered is when he's, like, doing his, like, crazy, like, where you can tell, like, he's trying to avoid...
He does this new thing where he's like...
Yeah, he's trying to avoid...
Right in the middle
He's
of
trying
everything.
to avoid actually doing what it is you guys are doing.
And it irritates me because I'm like, dude, if I have to sit here and read this, you're going to listen. If
I have to suffer through this road task, you must suffer through it.
I don't want to be reading it.
No, I totally get it. I commend you
and I know
it.
there's probably a million homeschoolers out there that would be like, well, you don't have to read it. You could do it this way. Like, if you want to send some helpful information to help me change it up, 100% gladly take it. But right now, I'm doing all that I
commend
at
you.
this point in time.
I commend every parent that's dealing with it now, and teachers. The teachers, anybody who's working through this is just odd.
I mean, Jordan's a stay-at-home mom of 3, and she's homeschooling Milo right now.
Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely not easy, but I think that's the world we're in. I mean, we just have to adapt to the new circumstances. I don't think it's going anywhere.
But I mean,
soon.
I will if this type of if the pandemic seems to stretch a whole nother year, I will 100% take on the role of like starting the whole kindergarten. Like, I'd be fine with doing that because the curriculum that we got has a kindergarten section too. I would do that. I just don't really feel comfortable the older sections because I'm not confident in my own math skills and stuff like that to start teaching him like.
My hope is that some of this distance learning is going to stick in the sense that maybe it moves public education forward into the modern 21st century a little bit to where there is one. I hope that it sticks around in terms of the pandemic just so that we can continue to work through that until there's a vaccine. But I hope it sticks around beyond that because I think there would be family circumstances, particular types of kids who might benefit from a distance learning path.
I know, but see, that's the thing is that those are out there. Like when I was looking for curriculums,
well, I'm not saying that they're not. I'm not saying they're not out there. What I'm saying is
learning is already out there.
Well, no, in a for-profit sense, but it's not part of our public compulsory education that we pay taxes to support. And so my hope is that in
the public school setting will offer something
correct.
like that.
Because I think that if education is gonna be compulsory, we need to move into a place where it becomes more dynamic and more flexible to account for all the different varieties of circumstances and children that are in the system. Mm-hmm. And I just think that it's somewhat of a, granted there are limitations with the scale and the efficiencies and all that stuff, but I think some of that we use as excuses to just not even try to do it differently or try to offer different
I think
paths.
Because we were forced to try something different here, I do think that maybe they can build upon that in the future. I don't feel like a lot of states are doing their best at trying to keep kids home if they can type of situation. Like what my little brother up in Kansas is, like he has to go every single day, half day. And then the other group of kids comes for the other half. I don't really see how that's preventing.
Yeah. I think that's the hope is like, we've been dealing with the current education system for the last 100 years in America, so we've gotten really, really good at delivering education that way. And so it makes sense that we're really, really shitty at delivering it online, right? Mm-hmm. Or some form of hybrid of it. So my hope is that we don't let go of it just because the pandemic subsides. I hope that we continue to iterate on it and try to find better ways of doing it. Because the teachers are learning a new skill set, right? Like talking to people over a webcam and keeping people engaged via video, mm-hmm. and
when you're not in the same classroom to almost essentially quote unquote make the kid listen.
Yeah, it's look at what these streamers do. These live streamers, there's really great ones and there's really bad ones, and it's mm-hmm. pretty hard to keep a sizable audience engaged for a significant amount of time live.
I think that would be kind of a cool thing. You could almost essentially give teachers, there could be potentially more jobs for teachers in that whole category, because if you had online learning teachers and teachers that are actually in school or teachers that do the hybrid situation or whatever.
Yeah,
I feel
make
that's
it a specialized group of people that deliver the online distance version.
The people who are good at that niche, and then those teachers can work from home or whatever. Well, however they need to do that.
There may be families that are look, just give us kind of what we're doing right now. But there may be families that are look, my husband or my wife stays at home with our kids and is actively engaged with their education. We just need the content, the material, the curriculum,
and somebody who knows the stuff better than.
And we need it on demand. That's all we need. We just there may be somebody that needs a live teacher, but there may be people that are look, just give me the lectures. Give me the book.
I did that in college. A couple of my classes, my online music class, all of those courses were pre-recorded. I just got a set of DVDs that I had to watch.
So that should be a path. Maybe there is an online version that's live. Maybe there is an in-person version and you have a kind of a portion of your school system that's dedicated to the delivery and the fulfillment of that optional path.
I just feel like that's an opportunity to just almost essentially make more jobs, because then you can have almost like a IT department that helps the people who are at home.
The limitation there is funding, right? It's like, because it's not a for-profit thing.
The education doesn't have that much funding in general, but I'm just saying that the opportunity, if the funding was there, that would be potentially a great opportunity for a lot of people.
All right, we're back on education again.
Benefit from it.
All right.
You talked about what my days are like. Well, that's pretty much it.
Christmas shopping and teaching.
I haven't even been Christmas shopping. It's just if I see a deal, I'm gonna nab it.
Oh, the deals.
I haven't even spent anywhere near the amount that I could have.
We're over our time. Let's wrap it up. If you like the episode, let us know. Find us on Instagram at kfreeborn412 and at steven.freeborn, and just send us a message if you like it,
or if you have more topics that you want to hear instead of the same 5 that we keep talking about.
I should do a better job of preparing topics for the talent.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later.
Good night.